Hey guys, welcome back to another video. After a very long time I'm shooting one, and here I'm trying to show a few parts of this grey frock which I made for a 4-year-old girl, which was a twinning dress with her mother. Cutting and sewing of this dress is very interesting. It has kind of different separate parts to be joined for the exact patterns. Both the mother and the daughter dresses has this yoke part in the front, and I'm going to give a few embroidery details here in the yoke part later, which I'm not going to cover on this video. So basically I'm going to give a princess line from shoulder and will attach little flare at the bottom, in the middle part or the below the yoke part of the dress. This dress is basically a little stiff and structural dress, so I'm going to use this linen cotton fabric, and measurements are as here. So this dress part has a yoke and this panel and the princess line, and the cutting will be like yoke part is going to be on fold, and later this whatever princess line is there, I will add a flare there, and this middle part, which is the rectangular piece, will be below yoke. It will be having little gathers, so I have to add a little extra fabric there, and later I'm going to start with the front part. It's better to cut all the parts on the paper first. So here for the yoke I am going to take the length will be approximately 7.5 or 8. So that much length for the kids, it will look good up to 5-year-old, and the lesser the age for the kid, you can take the smaller the yoke part. So I'm cutting and separating back and front. As you see in the video, I'm cutting the back part for neck first and armhole first. After that I will draw the mark line for the armhole for front, and making all parts equal. I will cut this small yoke part separately, and now as you see in the picture, this square piece will be elongated further in a separate panel, and how much I have to add I will mark. So I'll start with the back part first. Whatever length I'm taking, that much I will be attaching on the fabric later on back part. So you can mark or attach a piece of paper with the back, and this way you have to cut the lining fabric first. Yeah, I forgot to mention that I'm using a cotton lining for this fabric, so that it will give a little extra stiffness for the dress. And now we start for the front. Here I'm marking a straight line and putting my yoke part below that. I am going to cut this panel, in which I'm going to add a little extra fabric for the gathers and the length required. You will see further on the fabric, which will make better sense. Now I'm adding a little flare. So there is one advice here, like when you are adding flare, you please mark the middle part, how much it is coming. So that much at side you have to add, so it will always come little above than the bottom line, so it will eliminate that extra fabric at the bottom. Now we talk about the middle or the below yoke panel. So this small part, if you didn't forget, we have to add the extra length below this, and you have to add extra gathering as it is shown in the design. So you can add as much as fabrics in gathering you want. I'm adding maybe twice of the fabric of this panel, because I don't want a lot of gathering as well as a lot of bulginess near stomach area. So it is okay to add twice of the fabric of whatever panel it is coming. And I'm marking the length. And later the yoke part will be on fold. And adding extra margin for stitching is always important. Similarly, cutting the sides panel or the princess line. I'm cutting the facing of front neck, which is having a slight V cut in the front. So the front one is ready. Similarly, you have to cut for the back. So the next step, obviously you have to stick it on the main fabric or the lining fabric. Here I'm just sticking on the lining fabric with the help of iron. So this is your front lining and cutting part, which has yoke, side panels, middle panel. This is back, which has only the facing. So now let's cut on the main fabric. Main fabric, I'm keeping a half-inch distance for better attachment of the pieces, and later you can just cut the raw or rough edges. I have attached all the pieces of lining with the main fabric, and now I'm going to just cut the extra fabrics and make the pieces ready for further stitching. As you see here, I have made all the pieces ready for further stitching. I mentioned earlier that I'm going to do a little embroidery in the yoke part, so I'm attaching a fusing in the lining so that it will protect the embroidery for a longer period of time. So I'm going to adjust this rectangular piece with this yoke part, which is already attached with the main fabric. And as you see, this bobbin case I have filled with bobbin which is wrapped with elastic which is very thin, and this thin elastic will help me have a gather on the panel so that I don't have to do it by hand. You will see how I'm doing a lengthier stitch on this fabric, and it will gather itself, so it makes it very easy to attach with the yoke part. This step can be skipped, you can always do it by hand. So this gathered part I'm going to adjust in this yoke length. So one or two strong stitches and it is attached. I have cut another yoke part of lining fabric and I'm attaching so that I will have a cleaner look here, and extra fabric I'm getting rid of it. These are the side panels and I'm going to attach with the ready yoke. From shoulders I'm starting and giving a straight stitch. Both the side I will repeat the same process. So the heat setting of all the parts is very important in all the steps. It will give a good finishing later. Folding and giving a notch for the facing attachment of the front. We'll stitch the facing, iron it, and attaching with the back part. Back part I already stitched like this. Earlier in this channel I have made one hair accessories for the dress, so you can check out that. You can click on this card to watch that. And iron it later and attach it with the front. I did a small change. I gave opening at the shoulder so that going off the head will be very easy. Further attach the sleeves and followed by attaching pockets. Hope you like this video, and if you did, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Please follow me on Instagram. I share a lot of pictures daily basis there. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next. Till then, bye bye.